Hi, I'm Vicky, and today I'm going to show you how to make this shopping bag from a pair of old jeans. To make your bag, you'll need either 1 or 2 pairs of jeans, depending on the size of the jeans and how wide the legs are and how big a bag you want to make. You'll need some fabric to make the facings at the inside at the top of the bag. You can either use some denim from the jeans for this, or I'm going to use this contrasting red cotton just because I love red and blue jeans together. Then if you want to make the base of your bag a little bit more solid, you can leave it this step out if you want your bag to stay really soft. But I'm going to use some of these plastic chopping mats and I cut them in half to make a solid base insert. Next you need to work out what size bag you want to make. So I've used a combination of the size of the chopping boards that I'm using for the base and my favourite shopping bag to come up with this size that I'm going to make. So I want it to be 15 inches wide, 6 inches across and 12 inches high. I'm going to allow a ½ inch seam allowance. So I've worked out from there that for the bag itself I need to cut 2 side pieces which are 16 by 13 inches, 2 ends which are 13 by 7 inches and 1 base which is 16 by 7 inches. Then I want my handles to be about 18 or 19 inches long when they're finished, so I need to cut 2 handles that are 20 inches by 4 inches. Then for the facings at the top of the bag, so remember you can do these in denim or in a contrasting fabric, I'm going to cut 2 that are 16 inches by 3 inches and 2 that are 7 inches by 3 inches. And then my plastic base insert, which is going to be half of one of those chopping mats, is going to be 15 by 6 inches. And then I'm also going to cut 1 or 2 pockets to put on the sides of the bag, which I think they'll be really handy to put a shopping list, or if you've got reusable produce bags you can put them in there as well. I've got all my pieces cut out, and the first thing I'm going to do is add one of the back pockets from the pair of jeans to each side of the bag. So to sew each pocket on, I've cut them with a really good amount of fabric around each pocket, and then what I do is I lay it on where I want it to sit, fold that down so it's underneath, and then hold it in place and flip it up so it's right sides together, and then fold these ends in, and the first thing to do is stitch along here. Now that's pinned, I'm going to stitch along just a few millimetres away from the top of the pocket. Once you've stitched along here, turn the pocket the right way out and then fold all these seams underneath and top stitch around the edge. Now this is pinned on, I'm going to top stitch around all 3 sides, and then I'm going to use the same method to put the pocket on the other side. Next we're going to join all 4 sides onto the base. So to do that you take your base, and we'll start with one end and pin them together, and I'm going to join that, but I'm going to stop ½ inch from either end. So once that piece is sewn on, this is what it looks like. So I've got my stitching ½ inch from the edge, which was my ½ inch seam allowance, and I've actually stitched it along there twice just to make it really strong, and I've stopped ½ inch from each edge. Next I'm going to press this open and I'm going to top stitch either side of this seam, but again I'm going to stop ½ inch from each end because we need this part open to be able to join the sides together. This is how it looks once it's top stitched. So the seam on the inside is open, on the outside I've got a line of top stitching either side, and then I've got my ½ inch opening at either end. So I'm going to go ahead and do exactly the same thing on the other 3 sides of the base to join all of the side panels on. As you go around and pin each next piece on, you're lining your ½ inch from the edge up with where that open part is. Once you've stitched all 4 sides on, it will look like this on the inside and this on the outside, and you can see on each corner you've got the seam allowance from the base going back towards the base, and you've got the seam allowance from the sides going up towards each side, which leaves you with this fabric overlapping on the corners. And this is how we're going to join the sides together. So next, take 2 side seams. You can see at the base you're going to stop stitching where these fold up back onto themselves. I'm going to go around and do this for all 4 of the side seams up each corner of the bag, and then I'm just going to overlock down these sides as well just to stop them fraying. Here's what the corners look like once it's all together. You can see how this method gives you a really strong, neat corner to your bag. Here's how the side seams look now I've overlocked it. I overlocked each side of it separately because the denim can be quite bulky when it's together. And if I do it again, I'll definitely overlock before I top stitch around the base. Here's how the bag looks from the outside with the side seams joined. Next it's time to make the straps. I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch along each edge of the strap and then fold them in half and top stitch all the way around the edge. Because the ends are going to be hidden underneath the facings, there's no need to finish the ends off. I've top stitched and pressed both of the straps, and now it's time to pin them onto the bag. I've marked the center of the side of the bag and then put a pin 2.5 inches either side, and I'm going to use those to line the strap up to pin in place. Now both straps are pinned on, it's time to add the facing. So I've joined all 4 pieces of the facing together in order, so long, short, long, short. I've pressed open the side seams, and I've also pressed up 1/2 inch fold on one side of it. Next I'm going to pin the facing right sides together around the top of the bag, matching the seams. Now that's pinned on, I'm going to stitch 1/2 inch all the way around the top of the bag. I've pressed the facing to the inside of the bag and pinned all the way around. Next I'm going to top stitch around the top of the bag, and I'm going to go back and forward over the handle a couple of times just to make sure it's really strong, and then I'm going to top stitch around the bottom of the facing to hold it down. Here's the bag with the facing stitched into place. You can see there's 2 lines of stitching on the outside and 2 lines of stitching on the inside, which hold the facing really neatly into place. The last thing to do is to put in my plastic insert cut from my chopping board. I've rounded the corners because they were quite sharp, and I'm just going to put this in and leave it loose so it's easy to take out if I need to wash the bag at all. And here's the finished bag. This pattern's really versatile. You can make it any size and proportion that you want. You don't have to use denim, you can use calico or cotton drill or whatever fabric takes your fancy. You can use the same pattern to put a full lining in as well if you want to. So get creative, have fun, and see what you can come up with. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll be back soon with more videos.